Hi, and welcome to the podcast Invest in You. Today we've got with us Laura, and we have met like many of us. We have met online dating. I'm joking. Uh, So without further ado, one reason why we met is, of course, she has got a story to share. She's got a wealth of learning. So everything from martial arts, I would have loved to have my kids who are now young adults on this because they're both martial artists, both of them, and but they couldn't
Right.
make it. So instead, we'll talk about martial arts, wealth business, building systems, and so
Yeah.
on. So yeah, all the way from the US. How are you? And where do you come from today?
Yeah. So I'm coming in from Toronto. I live in Canada, actually.
All right.
Um, yeah. So
It's
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 not
it's not it's not the US state yet, so don't worry. We
it's
we got
not a
we
and
we,
we're
we
not
got you
planning on
covered.
that happening either. So
Sorry, love. Sorry.
it's okay. Yeah. Thanks for having me on today.
Yeah. So we have been set up on this blind date. I'm joking again, so that we can share gold dust with our audience. So for those of you who are on board, we talk a bit about how to create wealth, which is on pretty much all of us on our agenda.
Yeah.
And wealth can mean so many different things. And it's very much related
Right.
to the topic of this podcast as well. Like it can also be health, wealth, and much beyond as well. So all right, how did you find your way into thinking about your body and mind to start with? I'm presuming like the whole martial arts, that journey, personal fitness and health. So tell us about the
Yeah.
early chapters.
Yeah, for sure. So when I was very young, I was a bodybuilder and a power lifter, and I literally won our provincial championships here in Canada. And I was scouted by the International Federation of Bodybuilders. This is like back in the 80s, like
Yeah,
in the
it
old
still
days, right?
counts. Still counts.
Yeah. And so I think I was like 18, 19, 20 at that age. And they're like, look, we'd really love to take you to international competition, but you're going to have to take the drugs, to be honest, to get at that level. And
Yeah.
I was a young woman at that point. I was like, no, that's not going to happen. So I kind of, and I mean, I trained at the gym religiously for like 3 to 4 hours a day, right?
Yeah.
And so I did a shift where I started taking Aikido classes at a continuing education program through the schools.
Yes.
And I just loved it. And I always loved martial arts. I love action movies, kicking ass, all that stuff, right? And so I started training with this woman. And then a couple of years in, we had someone come in and do a demo, and they taught us how to, defend against a knife and all that. It was more weapons based. So I started
Yeah.
taking two arts. And the second art is Eskrima Kali Arnis, which is Filipino martial arts. And so that's the one I started competing in. And I
Yeah.
did Aikido for 30 plus years. I had a motorcycle accident, I had to stop practicing. It was just too painful, but I could still train in Filipino martial arts. And so I have 3 world titles in full contact stick fighting. I coached the Canadian team for decades. I created
Yeah.
many champions. So I know what that formula is. And one of the things that I loved about competing at such a high level and winning was I became a holistic practitioner because I wanted that extra edge,
Yes. I'm
right?
with you.
And so not just the diet, the exercise, you have to have the mindset, and you have to be in tune with everything going on with you, like mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, all of it, right?
Yeah.
And that is really what gives you the extra edge. Now, I'm talking about this in a martial arts scenario, but this is also applies to business, all of it.
Yes.
And what happens is that a lot of us who are high achievers at a high level don't know how to transfer that into business. But people who are just starting their business or have been in business and want to scale, wealth is like a massive thing that you need to look at with a positive kind of light, because
Good point.
I worked in corporate for decades as a commodities trader. I was the only woman on the trading desk. They packaged me out when I was 42. I'm 58 now. And it was just crappy, right? And it was a very toxic environment. I just decided at that age, I was retired. I'm only going to do things that help people, make me happy, and make me boatloads of money because I love money so much.
Yep.
And
Yep.
what I didn't realize was that people didn't have that same relationship with money.
Yeah, I
And
can relate
so,
to what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. And so so I'm a money mindset and wealth mastery strategist. But what you said, Fredrik, about wealth is Wealth doesn't necessarily mean money, but money is a part of wealth.
Yes.
Okay. People only want three things: more money, more time, better health, whether that's relationships,
Yep.
whatever that means to them. And in your business, if you offer any of those things and position it properly, you have a gold mine.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
if you
I'm
have
with
a
you.
gold mine, you can make a lot of money. But this is the thing. People who are high nurturing, who want to make a difference, what you don't realize is the more money you make, the more impact you will make. And that's where you're changing lives. So
Yeah.
money isn't this evil, greedy thing. It's just a tool to use so that you can create the impact in the world that you're looking for. And I think
Yep.
people lose their way. And when I deal with my clients, there's one of three things that I notice over and over and over again. And the first is their money mindset, or their mindset. It doesn't necessarily have to be about money. So there's all of those things that need to shift there, because otherwise their level of deserve is too low and they cannot scale. They
Yes.
don't feel they deserve it. The second is they're not aligned with what they're doing. They don't know what their vision is, because they're in the present moment struggling with the bills, the debt, the family, like all the current present things that are holding them stuck.
Yeah.
And the third is the limiting beliefs that mostly others have given them, and they've decided to believe themselves instead of understanding who they were and getting rid of them completely. Right. So those are the main things that I noticed that are holding people back. And when you talked about wealth, if you think about John Maxwell's pyramid of wealth, the four levels of wealth, the bottom of the pyramid is money, then knowledge, then relationships, and your purpose. If your money piece isn't strong, your pyramid
Yes.
will not be strong. And so you have to go back and fix that, get rid of the limiting beliefs, shift the money
Yes.
mindset, and know what your vision is. And so
Yeah.
that's like a quick 411 summary of
No,
that
no,
whole
no,
thing.
I will unpick that with some of my own learnings, because I've also been helping coaching lots and lots of people over
Yeah,
the years. And number one, there we bring so much luggage in terms of like what money is.
correct.
So just to mention one, like you might come from like a split family where the parents might have different thoughts. You might have also other influences as well, and as long as you are very much into like the let's call it scarcity mindset, because that's exactly what it
Correct.
is. And if you think that you're not deserving, that you indirectly self-sabotage, you can't attract or keep money.
Correct.
And that means that regardless what you're going to do, you will still lose the money, give away the money, or not even get it in the first place. So that's one thing I like to just highlight there. So the people that you are influenced by has got a massive impact. I just wish that I had the two co-hosts here as well, because they are very much, we talk about mindset, money, and we've been doing it for a long time. So since they were like
Yeah.
kids, and now they're like 19 and 21, and very much making the transition into, well, they've made money for years themselves, because I try not to do like the handout, which would be super simple and so on. But
Right.
like they need to make their own money to fund their own studies, to like
Correct.
go through the hardship. Yeah, sure, you can give the money, but not
Yeah.
completely out without any kind of performance
Right.
whatsoever.
Right.
Okay, so that's kind of like self-sabotage. One thing I would like to add what you just said, and then I like to continue where you ended, which is like the top of the pyramid. The purpose
Mhm.
is really what will pull other people, resources, money, relationships, and everything. So if you got a strong purpose, you can see like really strong entrepreneurs all around the world right now. They got a purpose which is not just making money as the ultimate one, but as
Mhm.
a consequence of like, I will take humanity to March, might make it one of the wealthiest people on the planet, because
Right.
you are aspirational and so on. So yeah, let's take from there like
Yeah,
mindset
for sure.
and purpose. Let's dive deeper into that one. Some thoughts, anything?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, if you think about your
Yes.
why is made up of two things: your purpose, like you were just saying, but it's also made up of your drive.
Yes.
So you may know why you're doing what you're doing, but if you're not driven, then nothing will happen. So you need to get into massive action. And if you
Yes.
look at, like you said, high achievers, they have three things that I consistently see in high achievers. The first is they are obsessed with growing their business. They are obsessed with
Yeah.
making it better. They like everything, right? Second is they are constant learners.
Yes.
They're always learning more, they're educating. And the third is um, uh, taking care of mind, taking care of body, taking care of business. So all of those things are maintained at a high level, because if you
Yes.
don't, one drags down, then the others will follow. Those three qualities, you'll see them again and again in millionaires and billionaires, especially billionaires, because
Yes.
they maintain it, right? And but it's not a secret. I mean, for
No,
us,
exactly.
for anybody
Exactly.
who's earning maybe even four figures, like
Yeah.
you can get there, right? And so it's just, are you aligned, right? And that
Yes.
takes a look. That's you taking a look. But if you're not ready to move into action, nothing's going to happen. It's really
No,
that.
exactly, exactly. I mean,
That's it.
that's really. Have you been cheating and listening to all other episodes that we've done so far, the 150,
I
50
did look
plus?
at a
Because
couple, but
no, but
yeah,
really, what my point is not to make fun of it, but it's exactly why we
yeah,
started this podcast in the first place. Like
yeah,
for action takers that like to keep on learning, that will push it, that will move the needle, that will find new ways to
yeah,
innovate and to find out new ways. But like you said and said twice in the last 2 minutes, action, massive action, or nothing will happen. It will be
yeah,
delusional, and delusional
yeah,
can only help you if you got a delusional self belief plus the action element. Otherwise,
yeah.
it's just a pipe dream. Yeah.
And you know, the other piece to add to what you're saying is, if you're not getting into action, all you need to do is look at your vision and your
Yeah.
alignment, because something's
Yes.
off. That's all it is. And then you can start the engine up again once you
Yeah.
hit that.
Yeah.
Right. And so that may take some digging. That's where the sweet spot is for you, because we all, 8 billion of us on the planet, have our own unique special gifts to offer the world.
Yes.
And so what is that? Right.
Exactly.
And, you know, someone, you know, I always laugh at this because someone's like, well, someone gave me a hard time. I'm like, dude, there's like 7,999,999,000,000,000 other people. Why are you worried about that one person? They
Yeah.
did you a
Exactly.
favor,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
And so they're like, oh yeah, I never thought of it that way, right? So
Yeah.
it's just like, it puts it in perspective, right? What do you
Yeah.
want from your life? And how do you want to
Exactly.
change the world?
And also, if you try to, I mean, I don't want to be normal, number one. So if you're
Right.
normal, that means in theory you might be average, and you will not become, you will not find the journey that
Mm,
you found yourself, or like from world championship to like commodities trading.
right.
Those are part of a fraction of the 1% that reach that
Correct.
level. So having this like the drive, the people that you work and see around you, what are some of the common roadblocks, self-sabotage or their mind or the action that they take or not take? What are stopping people from ultimately living closer to their dream life that you might see?
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of things. We won't get into all of them today because
That's okay.
you know, we'll just cover a main thing. So
Yep.
but also another piece of it that's really important is, I had massive trauma as a young child and a young woman. Your trauma can create your greatness. And so that is a big misconception people have, that it has to shut them down. And so that is another piece. That's a whole other
Yes.
conversation. So I, through my journey, have been able to heal that. I know how to get rid of that stuff, and it never leaves you. It's always a part of you, but how
Yes.
do you want to use it to inspire others to step into their greatness? And that is part of everyone's path, right? So there's that piece that also can contribute to, that's probably one of the reasons I'm a high achiever. It drove me to that. So what,
Yep.
you
Yep.
don't need the trauma if you don't have it, like good
No,
for
no,
you,
no. Yes.
but what is it that can drive you? And so that question is like, what is it that you want? And that goes back to your vision.
Exactly.
Like you said, Fredrik, it all goes back to that, right? And so the clarity around that is one of the main things people talk to me about. They're like, I don't know what I want to do. And that is so fun for me, because I'm like, well, let's talk about that, right? Like
Yes.
the world's your oyster, right? Like, so what do you want to do? And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, I don't know. And then, so then I say, well, if you could do anything, what would it be? And that word could actually
Yes.
gives them permission to like go into
Yes.
it. And then you can't
Exactly.
shut them up, right? Then they're
Yes.
like, blah, 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 right? I'm like, great, this is great. Let's keep going, right? And so it's funny how our human brain limits us in
Exactly.
our own minds, right?
Uh,
And so
Good, good,
being a
good.
high achiever, when I talk to them, it's a very different conversation than the regular entrepreneur who wants to just make, 5, 6 figures. That's fine. There's
Yep.
nothing wrong with that if
No, no,
that's where
no.
you are. But people who want to be in that 1%,
Yes.
you've got to do those 3 things, and you also need to be relentless. Okay. And
Yep.
that
Completely.
relentless, you need to be persistent, like all of the things. I never give up. I never quit. I never give up because I know it took me almost 10 years to win my first gold medal,
Yeah.
right? Because I only ever won silver, bronze, silver, bronze. And what actually made the difference was I actually tapped into the nurturing support of the rest of my team. And that's the first time I won the gold medal. And I
Yeah.
think too little of us think that if we lean on others, it's seen as a weakness. And it's not, it's actually the piece that's going to skyrocket you. That and
Exactly.
learning how to scale properly, like you said, to bring in the other people who are experts in what they do so you can be in your genius.
Yeah, exactly. Try to find the people that are actually stronger than you in different
Correct.
capacities and unlock and liberate and empower them to actually show off, show that they are better than you, because
Correct. Yeah.
the self-made woman or man is usually as someone who can orchestrate the people all around them, because ultimately
Yes.
there's not any one man billion company in the world. It is a collection of people. But you
Right.
also seen another aspect of society where very few, and I've done the same also, like a high level of network, so you can
Mhm.
bounce higher network problems around you. It might be tax, might be growth, it might be like it's lonely on the top. So upgrading your peer group is also one way how to unlock
Mhm.
this roadblock. So upgrading your network. Some thoughts on that? You've been working with top coaches and
Yeah,
you've been one
100%.
yourself.
I love that. Yeah, because this is the thing with human beings, right? So we are problem solvers. So we always think there should be an answer to questions,
Yeah.
right? Which is why I make, not make, well, I recommend that people do affirmations because you're not looking for an answer. But if you can ask questions and leave
Yes.
them out there, because then what happens when you do that is you're going to get all the possibilities,
Yeah.
not just the one that you're looking for, because that's never going to happen and you're going to be disappointed, right? And your expectations are just going to be crappy. So ask the questions, what's possible for me here? How does it get better than this? What would it take for me to hit 9 figures?
Yes.
And I'm willing to have everything that will I need for that for my highest good. Like these sentences actually are powerful because your voice is powerful. And when you do these things, it's not just woo woo and all that. You're
No, no,
actually
no, I
changing
agree.
the neural synapses in the brain,
I'm
right?
with
And
you.
so what your reticular activating system in your brain is doing is utmost to bring you everything that you want. You just need to start asking for it.
Exactly. And while doing that, please write, please read aloud, because it's all part of like different modes how your brain can
Yes,
take it in. And
right.
to just link that as well, you can really program yourself, like words like imagine. That will take that will open up new parts of your brain, and
Yeah,
also to build on what you just said there, Laura. Who can help me to unlock the 9 figures? Like, who do I need to
correct.
engage? So instead of like,
Yes,
I
like ask
can't do
that
it, it's like,
question.
who do I need to find?
Right.
And
So back to the powerful people. Yes. So like
indeed,
who do I
indeed,
need in my circle next, right? That's going to
yeah, yeah,
move.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Perfect. Yeah.
and
Love
be
that.
super creative. I mean, the people that you don't think you can reach, you actually can. You
Yeah.
can be street smart about it, and many of those most hard to reach people are so hard to reach that people don't even try. Just like I don't try to be a world championship person because it's so hard. That means that most of your competition to reach that person you really like to reach, it's already gone because they will not try. So that means that
Right.
you might be in a
There's
good
no
position.
possibility. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So yeah, that also helps you to find that untouchable person that can lift you up, so you can stand on
Right.
the shoulders of
Yeah.
giants. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Love
nice
it.
one. So the podcast name is Invest in You. What does
Yeah.
invest in yourself mean?
There's so many levels of that. what I would say to people is, first of all, know that you're enough,
Yeah.
because I feel like we are the worst judges of ourselves. So whatever you do, you're meant to do. And if it's not
Yes.
resonating with you, you need to look at that. So investing in yourself, do it on all levels, not just the physical. Do the mental, the emotional, the spiritual. Spend time, because when illness or other things strike on the physical level, it's because we haven't listened to the other levels. It's shown
Yep.
up there, but we didn't get the cues, right? And the other piece of that is own your own power and take it back from others, because we give little pieces of ourselves away all the time. But what if you could be complete and know how much power you had? Believe me, if you knew, nobody would get in your way,
Yeah.
right? And you're become unstoppable. That's what happens. When you see high achievers at a high level, they're not going to give away their power, because it's not like they're selfish. They're just going to be very discerning about how they exhibit in the world for other people and how they make impact, because they want to make the
Yeah.
biggest impact possible.
Yeah, exactly. And also, you might think like, oh, but people don't care. No one cares about as much as about you as you do. So that means ultimately, like
Correct.
how you dress, how you show up. Yes, it will influence other people, but you will see and assess that more than others.
Right.
You can align with the peer group where you might want to be, but
Correct.
ultimately,
Yes.
you are your own destroyer or
I
creator.
know, right? Yeah.
And the same with like we mentioned like affirmations, but also another super important one is gratitude. Like even be grateful in failure, because
Mhm.
that can be a
Yeah.
new motivator or a new key learning, so you don't do it in the
Correct.
same way next time.
Correct. Yes. And that's going to open so many doors that you just don't even know are here yet. And
Yeah,
so be open to the possibility of what could be, because it's probably never going to show up how you think it is. That's
yeah,
the other
yeah.
thing. Yeah, 100%.
It was a while ago since I asked. Do you have any like key book to recommend? Anything at all?
I really like the Four Agreements. And if you really get down to invest in yourself, which is, I love the name of your podcast, this is the book you need to read, because this will tell you who you are, how you look at things, and the truths about the core of who we are as human beings.
Yeah,
And then you can make choices from there, right?
love it,
And
love it.
maybe those choices will be different.
Yeah, yeah. I've got a question for Ivan in his absence. How did you push yourself through the training when you really wanted to quit? He has got the answer to this question himself, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I wanted the gold. I wanted to be the best in the world.
Yeah, yeah, love
I
it.
wanted the gold, and I wanted to know what it felt like. And then once I knew what it felt like, the struggle was then, how do I deal with I've won, so what now?
Yes,
And so
yes,
if you can't take that winning at the top and translate it into other areas of your life, that's when you see people like who like, for instance, people in the NFL.
yes,
When they earn a lot of money, they retire, they lose all their money. Or people who win the
yes,
lottery, and because they don't translate it into the rest of their life,
yes. I'm with
right?
you
And
completely.
so, yeah, 100%. Mhm.
Yeah, all
I
right.
wanted it so badly that, I mean, I didn't even see my family for holiday, birthdays, nothing. Like, I would train, right? I was
Yeah,
obsessed. Like, it was those three qualities. That's why I know those qualities, right? Now I'm a little older, right? And my body's retired, but I wanted to be the best in the world. And I did it two more
yeah,
times, and I did it
yeah.
10 years later because I wanted to see if I could still do it.
Love
So we
it.
should
That's
always be challenging ourselves.
great example. I mean, same with me right now. I'm pushing the boundaries where I was like 30 years ago, just to see that I
Yeah.
can still do it, and I can just because I put in the effort. But the effort
Yeah.
is in time is much longer than it was last time. It's still
Yeah.
doable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like, even if I'm so much older, I mean, it was so funny because in my last two championships, I was over 40, but they put me in with the 18-year-olds and I still
Yeah.
won, right? And
Love
so I
it.
was like, that really meant a lot to me, right? Like, so it's just really in your head, like your
Yes.
body will listen to your mind, and whatever you give it to it, you just have to develop your mind, right? Because
Perfect.
that's everything else will follow.
Yeah. So people who love what you're saying, how can they connect with you, follow more of your work? What's the best place to find
Yeah,
you?
for sure. So you can book an hour with me. I love talking to people. So you can go to wealthstrategywithlaura.com and book time with me. And you can also reach me on LinkedIn as well. And my website is wealthmasterysystems.com. So my calendar booking is wealthstrategywithlaura.com.
Yeah,
All right.
and you can also see many of these things through her LinkedIn profile as well, which will be, of course, in the show notes. So, ladies, gentlemen, everyone out there, you have been listening to Fredrik Sandvall and Laura Armstrong, who is strong in mind and experiences. And I hope that you pick up some things from this podcast today and you actually do something about it, whatever that might be. You
Get
got
into action.
1 minute for a closing final round on the fight here, Laura. What would you like to have the listeners to take away? Key things, anything at all?
Yeah, don't sit on the fence. Make choices. If you're feeling stuck in your business, it really is just a choice. And so what does that choice look like and who can help me? That's the other question because it's too hard to do it on your own. So don't even
Yeah,
try. Get the support you need, get the support, and they will help you. You're never on your own. And call me if you don't have it.
perfect. Nice one. I will say thank you very much, Laura,
My pleasure. Thanks for having
and
me.
thanks from all over the world. Bye bye bye.